Hey guys, welcome to another Jamaican video, a Jamaican living in Germany. Now in this video I want to talk about this new step in my life, I could say, this new phase in my life. So I started working full-time in October, and so in this video I'll tell you what it's been like working full-time and also how did I get to that point of having a full-time job working in Germany. One of the main things that I wanted to do before I started working was to do a world trip, and I also did a few videos about that. I'm still doing videos about those. Since October I've been working full-time. That has been an interesting experience. I mean, first of all, transitioning from being a student to working full-time has been definitely something to get accustomed to, because they're quite different. Like, as a student you have this, flexibility, you have time, things change constantly, and you have more or less a varying schedule. With work, it's like, hey, from 8 to 5 o'clock, you're pretty much stuck at your desk. Getting to this point was interesting for a number of reasons. Now, first of all, the German bureaucracy, paperwork. The company that I joined full-time was a company that I was also working part-time. I've been working there for a couple of years. So pretty much I thought it should be a really simple process, maybe 1 or 2 forms and that's it. It wasn't that way. It's like, I think I got like 10 different forms that I needed to complete. And what was surprising as well, that certain things that, even though they have this information on the system already, even though they know, for example, my social security number, and they've been using it for the past couple of years, I still had to submit that again. And not just the number, I had to request that they send me the social security ID and then I could present it. And I was like, this is probably one of the number one things that concerns a lot of students who want to study in Germany, where they're like, okay, will I be able to get a job after finishing my studies? For me, it was really straightforward. Like, I didn't have to search for a job. It was an offer. So while I was finishing up my master thesis, they asked me, okay, you're going to be finishing your studies soon. We have projects that we would want you to work on. Do you want to continue working here full-time? The offer was there, and all I needed to do was just to say yes or no. So that really simplified things for me, and definitely it's not that way for a lot of people, because sometimes it takes a really long time to find a job. But that's also something I find really interesting with Germany, where it's like, when you study here and let's say that you want to work here, then you're given this opportunity. So you can apply for a visa. I think it's up to 18 months or maybe less. I don't remember the exact period. But you can apply for this visa to search for a job. And this is kind of quite the contrast to other countries, where it's like, even before you're finished studying there, they're telling you, yeah, it's time for you to start packing your bags and go home. The company actually wanted me to start right away. So pretty much right after I'm finishing my studies, they wanted me to get started. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to take my trip. I wanted the trip to be a way to transition into this new phase. Like, the one last big hurrah. That was kind of what I wanted to do. I'm so happy that they were actually okay with that. They were like, yep, sure, you can take the time. And they're like, when would you want to start? I was like, yeah, October 2021. Because there were 2 conversations anyways. The first one was like in 2020, and then the second one was in early 2021. And they asked again, okay, what's happening? Do you want the job or not? So I was like, yeah, but I still haven't taken my trip as yet. And they were actually really cool with that. So that was another thing that was on my side, I guess, that I could have this freedom to do that and not having to just say, okay, you're finished with your studies, either you take the job now or you can forget about it. I've been talking about the job and the company, and yeah, what exactly is it that I do? So I work at a company, it's a research company, and my area or the projects that I'm focused on involve machine learning, something called static analysis, and yeah, essentially software engineering. So that's the area that I'm into. Cool thing also is that what I did for my master thesis is essentially the continuation. It's like a major part of what I'm doing now. And so that's really exciting because I enjoyed the topic that I had for my thesis, and it was using natural language processing to actually process documentation in software so that you can extract information that can extract, for example, security information to help developers write more secure programs. Yeah, that's the high level summary of that. Like the 6 months that I had to work on my thesis, I enjoyed it, and I was also not so happy that I didn't get to do everything that I wanted. So I'm really grateful that this job actually gives me the opportunity to dive deeper into the area, especially in machine learning, natural language processing. Those are things that I've found myself really interested in. A typical day for me involves, for example, programming. I have to build a tool and different tools and so on, and lots of research. For example, it's theoretical sometimes because then I have to research to see what has been done and then find out how to implement that. So it's not always so straightforward because then sometimes it's really completely new things. In a lot of cases, I spend hours like trying to come up with a new approach for something, and sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's frustrating. 3 months later, and I must say that I've been enjoying the experience. It's different from being a student for sure, because just the fact that I have to work 9 hours per day, and especially that I started in October when the days were already short, so those 9 hours would be the 9 hours that you actually see some light. I won't say sunshine because this is Germany. It's kind of sucks that, you know, those 9 hours you spend actually at your desk, and when you go outside, or when you go outside before or after, it's dark. So that kind of sucks. I've been working from home since I started. Even before Corona, that was probably one of the main things that I would request from wherever I would work, that hey, I don't want to have to work in the office. I mean, I have no problems doing it a few times, but it shouldn't be a rule that I have to come to the office every day. It's been really cool that I can actually work from home. And of course, because I get bored so easily with being in one place, so sometimes I go to other places or go to the cafes, or sometimes even in trains I'm working and stuff to keep things interesting. A few things that are quite surprising for me. The number one thing would be with the vacation days. Back in Jamaica, the company that I was working for, I got like 16 vacation days. And that was actually a good amount of vacations. And now I have like 30 vacation days. And that's pretty much the rule, like the law in Germany actually. But this company takes it to another level. If you have a holiday on for example, a Thursday or on a Tuesday, then you would get the day between the weekend free. So you'd get Monday off or you get Friday off. And you call them bridge days. I'm like, that's the coolest thing ever. So on top of these 30 vacation days, I still get these extra vacation days. So for example, between Christmas and New Year's, the entire company was closed. So because I love traveling, so it's like, it's perfect that I can have these long weekends to just take a trip. Yeah, of course the salary is, in comparison to what I was earning back in Jamaica, is definitely much better. I was checking today and it's actually like 2 times as much as what I was earning back in Jamaica. I mean, of course it's a different economy and different expenses and so on, but just looking at the earnings, it's definitely much better. The working environment, the working culture, I recognize is also different. I don't know if it's a company or the people that I work with, but sometimes I find that things move very quickly. In this company, or maybe it's a German thing as well, the productivity is so high where it's like, you know, people do what they're supposed to do, and you don't need to be like chasing behind people and telling, you know, adding their bosses to emails so that you can get things done. So yeah, I'm definitely happy about it. Back in Jamaica, I would be all dressed up for work. So I'd be wearing a shirt and a tie. A tie was optional, but I like wearing ties, so that's why I did it. While in comparison to here, you can just wear, you know, a t-shirt and jeans. And then even in the summer, I could pretty much just wear shorts and t-shirt to the office. Back in Jamaica, you don't do those things in a professional corporate environment. That's pretty much what has been happening in the last 3 months. Trying to balance this working for 9 hours, trying to work around that time, for example, to go running, to work on YouTube stuff and hobbies and all those different things, and times with friends and so on. It's been an interesting experience. I'm still not mastered it because sometimes I'm lagging behind in a lot of things, but I'm getting there slowly. I definitely miss the freedom of being a student, but that's just how it is. I mean, at some point you have to move on, and it's been fun moving on. I've learned a lot. I'm looking forward to see what will happen, and I'll keep you guys updated. So thank you so much for watching the video, and see you in the next Jamaican video.